Hi everyone, I'm Joe Fry and this is my channel Jojo Fry Rocks, and this is part two of the conversation that I had with fellow guitar YouTuber Steve Cassidy, all about his channel Steve Cassidy Guitar. He's been doing really well, and I just wanted to get some of his, I suppose, insight and wisdom that he's gained over the last couple of years, and maybe try to sort of use some of that to start planning what I'm going to be doing with this channel in 2025. So it's really timely, and hope that you will find it informative and interesting. I know some of you have your own channels, and we're all trying to figure this thing out, this YouTube thing. So I think, the more that we can share our experience and tips and guidance, the better for all of us. But also, even if you don't plan on kind of starting your own channel, and most of you probably don't, hopefully you'll find it interesting from the perspective of just knowing what goes into starting and trying to grow a YouTube channel. So here's the second part of our chat, and hope you enjoy it. Okay, here we go. What kind of inspired you? Because obviously you've been doing this YouTube thing for a couple of years, and I expect, like me, you probably were watching quite a bit of YouTube, guitar and music based sort of content, and kind of, was there a particular thing that you watched one day and you thought, you know what, I could do that? Or was it something else that the idea?
There was a couple of things, two sort of pronged thing that got me into making YouTube videos, Well, maybe three if you think about what you said there. I was watching a lot of it, but I never watched a lot of it and thought, sorry, I could do that. It wasn't so much like that. Or maybe it was in the back of the head slightly. But anyway, the cover band I was playing at the time, I'm still playing with, I was making some videos for the band to try and just get a bit more exposure kind of thing. And we were doing covers and I was just filming rehearsals or some things from gigs and that. And I thought I'll put them up on YouTube, and then from YouTube we can share them on Facebook and other things, and maybe try and get some more bookings, that kind of thing. But the editor I was using, I was filming on my phone, and the video editor I was using was whatever came built in with Microsoft Windows something. It was before Clipchamp, it was like Windows Media Editor or something like that. It was really basic and bad, and so was my editing. So basically it would be like a verse of a song or half of a verse of a song and then jump cut into another song, and it was just like the worst, so janky. And my bandmates were very critical of my efforts.
Oh, at least you were trying to do something though.
That's it, I was trying to do something. And then alongside that I was watching a lot of YouTube stuff, and I came across because I'm into cheap strats, that's my thing.
Yes, I feel a real kind of like connection with all of that kind of stuff, because I have a massive place in my heart for a cheap Strat.
That's it. There's so many good ones these days, and I was sort of looking at a Jet Strat that I got and I loved it, and then there was a Fasley one, and I noticed that they were both very similar. In fact, they were exactly the same. I later found out that they were made in the same factory and it's the same guitar, just with Jet and Fasley branding on it. But that was after contacting the companies. But I'd been on forums, couldn't find anything out about it. I was on YouTube and thought, no one's talking about this. I've found out, so now I'm going to tell people. So if anybody else is looking for it. So I started off with that, and I think it was like on New Year's Day or something like that. I went for a walk with my partner Yoshi, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And I'm going to talk about these guitars, and I want to get better at the video editing. I want to learn how to edit videos. So that's basically what the channel's been. Learn how to edit videos. And just slowly through sort of making videos, you get better and better. And then I got sucked into the grow your channel kind of content on YouTube. So someone said in one of these videos, whether it was like Think Media or vidIQ or whatever, one of these channels, said, so it was basically, at the time I was just trying to get some advice on lighting or whatever it was. And then they're talking about how to start your YouTube channel in 2023 or whatever it was. And they said, so what's the point in making videos if no one's going to watch it? I was like, oh, that's a good point. So then I started thinking about, right, okay, if I'm making these videos, I'd be as well trying to sort of making my best efforts to get them seen. So started looking into optimization and things like that. So yeah, that's been a part of the road now. The first year was massive learning curve, learning everything. Like, I'm still filming on my phone up until like the summer. Trying out different lav mics. I've tried out some really bad ones, tried out some decent ones. The lighting thing took me so long to get the hang of. And then there's the editing, the colour grading, and then the optimization. And just there's so much stuff you need to learn for YouTube. It's unbelievable.
It's the most like sort of multi-skilled, multidisciplinary thing I think that you could probably do. And I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, me too.
When I started, I just thought it was a case of, if you film on your phone, like this is what I was doing. I thought, it's dead easy, isn't it? You just add a little stand for my phone, and I'm just like, right, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to film myself talking about something or maybe playing something on the guitar, and then I'm going to just hit upload, and maybe some people will watch it. And I hadn't given, I did just the early videos on my channel are literally just that, and I hadn't given any thought to it at all. And it wasn't until, like, for some reason, so Andy Mack from Guitar Stuff Studio, decided that he was like Mr.
Yeah, there you go. Give the plug. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy, and he started kind of giving me bits of advice about making videos and about kind of how to do like this YouTube thing. And so like any improvements that anyone can notice like on my channel have been because he told me to do that. Like in the beginning, I didn't even know that I needed to create thumbnails. I hadn't realized that. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know what a thumbnail was. So he was just like, mate, like you've got to do thumbnails on your videos. It's just like these awful, just still shots of my weird face captured at a wrong moment in a video.
Halfway through talking, it's like...
Yeah. It's just really dreadful. Yeah. And which I hadn't realised. He was like, you've got to, like you say, you've got to sort out your lighting, get a decent microphone. Although the microphone on the phone actually is not bad at all. I think the sound wasn't too bad, but he was right. Get the sound sorted, get the lighting sorted, do some thumbnails, and it was just all this stuff that I wasn't even remotely aware of. And now, kind of like you, I've been watching kind of more content around like, what you're supposed to do, put some tags on your videos, try and do like some of the SEO stuff. And, work on your titles and descriptions and all kinds of things like that. And like for a while, I was making quite long videos and I hadn't put in chapters, hadn't put in time codes or anything, which I think is a bit, that's sort of like, you're asking a lot. You're asking someone to like sit and watch a video with no idea where it's going, no idea what's coming next. And no ability to sort of like skip through it. So, I just hadn't given it any thought until one day when I watched one of these like content making videos where this is where it sort of like hit home, was that they actually said, we are in an attention economy and you're asking people for their time. And, time is valuable. It's a valuable thing to people. And if you're asking people to give you some of their time, you need to make sure that, like, that what they're looking at looks reasonable, that they can navigate through it, that you've clearly sort of described what it is that you're going to be talking to them about and what they're going to be getting from it and all this stuff. And I kind of thought, oh, yeah, if I want people to actually give me their time and the time of day to sort of listen to what I've got to say, I really need to sort of make those improvements. So yeah, it didn't dawn on me for quite some time. So it's only been in the last couple of months really, that I've actually been like aware of what I need to do with this stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's like, I enjoy learning about all of it. You know, the news, like, I just want to get better all the time, make better videos. I'm sure you're the same. And doing things like, I noticed when I was adding chapters into some of my longer, earlier videos as well, I was adding the chapters in, because the chapters is basically what you're talking about at that point in time, of course. So just by doing that, I was thinking, okay, right, so at this point I'm talking about this, now I'm talking about that. Oh, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with anything. And then, oh, right, we're back to that again. And it's just like the cohesion of the video wasn't really there. So I didn't actually realise that until having to put in the chapters and then realising, like, oh, wait, I'm not making any sense right here. Or this video doesn't make sense, or the storyline doesn't add up, or something like that. So by sort of going back and learning from your previous mistakes, going in and then it starts to think about how you're going to construct the next video.
Absolutely.
Put the ideas across, yeah.
It is it's a learning journey, isn't it? And I don't still really know anything about video editing and all the different like editing software and stuff. So I'm still like researching that and looking into that and everything. But it's something that, you know, I just hadn't really considered when I started my channel. I thought I was just going to do few videos about my guitars, maybe play some songs and share them with people, and maybe just sort of like have a chat about some of the stuff that interests me, and like just hadn't given any thought to any of the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing.
Yours is really, you know, like I was saying, your channel looks, you know, it's very kind of polished, but not overly, but like, you know,
Definitely
so it still has that like kind of DIY vibe, but it's way more professional and sort of structured than mine. And you know, you have this sort of like weekly plan of like what happens on your channel, which I think is also really helpful for people.
Well, that was just I think this just through time and experience. So I think I've been at it a year longer than you. Is that right?
Yeah, I only started this channel a year ago, like November 23. Yeah,
there you go. So just a year longer, and it's just sort of picking up all these things on the way, and then I learned about how important the consistency is, because I wasn't being consistent with my videos. So now it's like same time every week. It's got to be the. Sometimes I'm right up to the wire to get the video done, especially recently because I lost all my stuff. Anyway, that's a story for another time. But yeah, the consistency is a thing, and I wanted to try out live streaming just at the end of last year. Thought I'll experiment with that, because all the channels I was watching for my own leisure and entertainment, they were all doing live streams. So, you know, just follow the pack kind of thing. Live streams aren't, they're not great for views or anything like that. It's all about sort of the community aspect of it and sort of building stronger sort of bonds there. So that's what I like about the live streams every Thursday, 7:30 PM UK.
Yeah. Sorry, no, go on, Steve. When do you do your live streams?
Right, so I'll tell you the format, the weekly format, as you mentioned. So this is what I came up with, because I wanted to kind of have, basically, I do a video every Friday at 6 PM. And if you know anything about YouTube, which you do, but if anybody's watching, your early views are very important to how the algorithm works. So you want to get people watching, liking, reacting, commenting as early as possible, so that the algorithm can pick it up, and the algorithm thinks, okay, people are enjoying this video, let's cast the net further kind of thing. That's the plan, and if they like it, that's what's supposed to happen. So I thought I need to optimise my sort of weekly schedule in the best way that this Friday video is going to get picked up like that. So I thought I'll build in the live stream, and choosing a date for the live stream was hard, because I watched so many other live streams and I didn't want to tread on anyone else's toes, and I also didn't want to do the live stream too soon after the Friday video, because YouTube only pushes out your most recent content. So if I do a Friday video and then do a Saturday live stream, then the Friday video is gone, and it's gone. The live stream's getting pushed out, which is no one watches on well, some people watch on catch up, but you get the idea. So I thought the best place for my live stream is the day before the video, where I can, because people aren't going to watch the live stream on catch up anyway, or maybe they are, but I can use that to promote the Friday video. And then I thought, to get more engagement on the live stream, the day before the live stream, so this is me getting into my weekly format now, on the Wednesday I do a community poll post, and it's asking something about guitars. So I'll be, I don't know, humbuckers, P90s or single coils, what's your favourite? Something like that. And it's always an image poll as well, because they get more engagement. And then in the post itself, I'll ask probably about 5, 6, 7 questions that's going to be things to get the viewer hopefully engaged enough to vote and write something, write a comment. And then I'll always reply as well. I'll reply to every single comment. I know you do too.
I think that's important. I think that's
I do as well.
Yeah. And obviously, being quite a small channel, you know, I don't necessarily get like overwhelmed with comments. So it's not, you know, it's not too difficult or time consuming for me to just reply more or less in real time, like almost as they crop up. I will reply. You know, I probably couldn't if I was Rick Beato, I probably couldn't. But you know, I'm kind of less than 1,000 subscribers, and you know, I sort of like don't, like I say, I don't get sort of inundated with them. There were 2 videos where I did get a constant stream when they first went up. One was, and these are 2 videos that have sort of like done the most views, I suppose, on my channel. One was about, it was a classic kind of Fender versus Gibson thing.
That was the first video of yours that I seen as well.
That was one that like, it just came to me. It was like I was watching something and it just sparked off a thought, and I thought, I've got to do this. I've just got this thought in my head and I need to get it down. And it was a really spontaneous one. And I just really wanted to get it done and get it out. So there was no, that I just sat down and did it. And then I got this like, wow, kind of stream of comments and from each side, and, you know, some kind of, you know, in support of it and some not so much, but it was all great in it. And I did manage to respond, but that was quite hard to keep up with. And then another one that I did, which was about Kurt Cobain and how, like, I actually think that he is a good guitarist, because I was just getting fed up of, like, I go on a lot of sort of channels that are about Nirvana or kind of grunge in general. And, you know, you always see that loads of people love it. And obviously then there's always some comment going, he couldn't even play. It's always like, you always get a few of these that go, And there was one, literally, it was like, he's not even as good as my mate who plays in the pub on a Friday or whatever. And I just was like, no, he is actually. And sorry, I did use the name Steve. I don't know why. I don't know why that just came to me, but it just felt like a, you know, Steve feels like a guitarist name for some reason.
Or a Dave or a Steve.
Yeah, your mate Steve who plays guitar. It just feels like such a. It's got a natural ring to it. So I was like, no, actually, he is better than your mate who plays in a covers band on a Friday night, and I'm going to tell you why. And so I did put a lot more sort of thought and research and time into sort of structuring that video. And it's, you know, I knew it was a title that was going to get attention because it's a bit contentious. So, and then I did get kind of quite, again, a lot of like flood of comments from lots of different perspectives. And, you know, I did again manage to kind of keep up with the replies, but that was a constant thing for a week or so, you know.
And the more comments you reply to, the more comments you get back. People are more likely to comment again. If they commented on a previous video and you reply to them, they're more likely to comment on a future video.
And I get that, you know, there are a few people who, you know, are subscribed to me who like pretty much comment on all my videos, and I'll always reply to those people because they've put their time into watching, and I think it's kind of like the least I can do, really.
Totally, yeah, that's it. I'm hugely appreciative of all the comments we get.
I
always encourage them as well. And at the end of the day, I just can't stop talking about guitar stuff. It's so, so it's, if I get a comment and someone says anything, I was just like, I'm way back as well, just because I can't help myself. So I'm just like, yeah, guitar nerd.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. And I'm like that on other channels as well. And so whatever I've watched, I always feel like I have to have my little say about it.
Yeah, too right. That's it. That's it. People want to be heard, you know. That's what a lot of channels get wrong, actually. So if there's anybody there watching that's doing YouTube or guitar YouTube or anything like that, a lot of people will ask, because we get told in videos like grow your content videos and things like that, make sure you ask the viewer to comment, like, subscribe or whatever, or whatever. But you've got to give them something where they get to say their say.
Yeah.
You know, where they get to talk about their own personal experience. So if I'm doing a Squire Sonic, which I just did recently, Squire Sonic versus Squire Debut, if I do the review of the two guitars and say, which one do you think sounded best? Then that's not a very good question for someone to answer. That's kind of all about me and what I'm doing here. What I would maybe say is something along the lines of, okay, so these two guitars are like under £150. What recommendations do you have for about that price range? Is there any experience you've had with guitars that have been really cheap that you thought were amazing? Tell me about it in the comments. This opens it up now to more people to talk about what they want to talk about and what they've got experience with, rather than me talking about these two guitars that I've got in the room with me just now, which is probably, if anybody's watching it and I'm comparing these two guitars, there's a good chance that they're maybe in the market for one or the other, so they probably have no experience with either of them. That's why they're watching the video. So there's no point in me asking them what their experience is with it. Sorry, I'm getting off on a big long tirade here.
That's a really interesting point. And that is something that I will definitely try to think about, because as you say, you know, you do end up asking about what people think of whatever it is you're talking about. And I think I have done some videos like that where, and it actually, you know, didn't get very much of a response. I can remember I did a thing that I called the slash tone challenge, where I just kind of played a bit of the solo from Sweet Child of Mine, or one of the guitar parts from Sweet Child of Mine. Firstly, using the neck humbucker on my PRS, and then using the bridge humbucker on my PRS. And it was kind of like a poll thing, you know, I was sort of asking, you know, which one sounded more like Slash, you know, which one sounds like better. And yeah, I was sort of interested to see that it sort of like didn't get that much of a response, whereas kind of like, maybe I kind of should have said, oh, how have you sort of tried to recreate that sort of tone? Like, what sort of setup have you got?
I mean, I think both are real. I think what you said the first time, that tone comparison thing, I think that's a perfectly valid thing to ask if you're doing a tone comparison. But yeah, I'm always looking for an opportunity or an angle to sort of get the viewer to talk about what they want to talk about, because you've always got to put the viewer first. Always. That's it. That's basically that's it. You just
That is it, isn't it? And
that's it. If you want to sort of get growth and get your video seen, then that's what I try to do. So with the poll that I do on the Wednesday, that's my sort of opportunity to do that. And then on the Thursday live stream, what I do is I'll go into the poll from the previous day and we talk about the topic. And basically that came about from me being scared to live stream and thinking, what am I going to talk about for an hour? And if no one turns up or comments, I'm not going to have anything to talk about. So having the poll the day before gives us a sort of framework topic, something to kind of fall back on and talk about.
Yes, and it usually does. You know, you usually do actually kind of talk about the topic.
A little bit. Yeah. And if the sort of chatter that dries up, I can always go back into the poll from the previous day and I bring that up and say, here's what you were saying in the previous day, and read out some of the comments from people that aren't there. Try to get as many people included as possible. And then during the live stream, I'll say, and tomorrow's video is about X. And I tried to make it so that the poll, so let's say it was about like my Squire video. Let's say the poll was about, have you ever tried a Squire Strat or a Telly? That's in the poll, right? I'm just making this up. And then they vote on something, and then the next day we're talking about Squires, and then on the Friday the video is about these square guitars. So hopefully this and this has got a bit of interest in this. And then when the Friday video goes up, the people are going to watch it early on, comment, and that's going to help sort of with engagement. And because I do it every single week, and I've been doing it for a while, people kind of get, no, I don't want to say it. Yeah, I'll say it, because I can't think of anything else. Trained, if you like, to your schedule, your upload schedule, and they're more like this, in sync, that's it, not trained.
Yeah. It's a structure that people know and they're used to, and they can kind of plan around. And like I always keep I keep the times free when I know that there's going to be a live stream by a channel that I want to be part of and that I want to be in the chat for. So I will make sure that I can join those things. So and like you say, you want to try and avoid doing that at a time. You can't do your live stream at a time if you want to join Guitar Stuff Studios live stream. Yeah. So it is a tricky kind of like balancing act. And I, like I'm a bit apprehensive about the whole idea of like live streams and everything, and I'm just sort of thinking maybe I would do one at some point. I'd have to give it some thought. I'd like to and everything. It's just that, like you say, it's a risk. It's a bit more of a risk for sure. And
well, the pros and cons with a live stream, because I didn't know why I was doing a live stream. I was just like I said, I was looking at these other channels that I watch, and they were all doing live streams, and I thought, okay, that must just be part of the YouTube. You do live streams, so I'll need to start doing them. And then I realised after doing them, it's like, okay, these don't get anywhere near the views as the videos.
No.
But the engagement is like super high. So this is about the community building sort of thing. So it kind of made me rethink the videos and everything. So
absolutely, and it does. It is what builds the community, and that's why I really enjoy joining them, and I really enjoy being in the chatting to other people. Like I say, sometimes I'll be in the chat, and there'll be people that I recognise, subscribers from my channel who have commented on my videos and stuff, and they'll be in your chat or they'll be in Andy's chat. So it's kind of that nice opportunity to sort of interact and everything. And you sort of build a little kind of idea in your mind of like who all these people are and what they're into and what they like and everything. So I think it's super important to do it. But like you say, it's not something that you do for views or anything like that. But there's different reasons. There's totally different reasons for doing it, and it's a great thing to do. So I'm kind of thinking once I sort of maybe hit like my first milestone of like 1,000 subs or something like that, which I'm not too far from, but it still feels quite far. Maybe I'll do live stream Q&A or celebrate or idea. Something like that. Maybe.
It's a good I'm the same as you as well. With the community, I'm like every live stream that's on, I'm on it. I'm in them all. I'm in the chat of everyone. I just can't help. Like I said, if I'm not answering comments or making videos, in fact, when I probably should be making videos, I'm watching people's live streams, like just getting involved, talking about the guitars. I just can't help it. It's just.
And I have to watch because if I ever miss a Guitar Stuff Studio live stream, I have to watch on catch up to see what like Andy's been saying about me. It's invariably there's something.
Right. Okay.
And then you get to do kind of moderating on people's like chat which is another kind of that's another skill into its of its own. And it's all kind of building up your knowledge and building up your experience. So thanks for doing your live streams. I always enjoy them anyway and enjoy being part of them. And I've come across other guitar channels that I'm really enjoying as well, like Searching for Tone, That's a great channel. And he's doing really, really well over there.
He's doing a very good job, definitely. And he's doing a similar thing. In fact, that's a good tactic as well if anybody's interested. Like I say, getting into the live streams, it's all about the community, talking to people. And I was just going up and chatting on Guitar Stuff Studios, Andy's live streams, because I seen them up. I was online at the time. I probably should have been making a video, and I thought, oh, there's a live stream. I'm going to go and see what they're talking about. So you just go in, and I like having a laugh as well, just sort of taking the piss or whatever. So I do a bit of that. And Yeah, a few weeks later or a few months later after chatting away, you get invited on the show. It's amazing. This is what happens sometimes in the live streams. It happened with John Robson's live stream as well. He shouted me out earlier on. If anybody comes over to my live stream, if you've got a guitar channel, you're instantly made a moderator and you can post links to your channel. And we'll all try and promote each other's channels. That's one of the biggest things about the community that I love as well, is that cross-promotion.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've found everyone that I've kind of met since doing this is another kind of big reason why, you know, I've been enjoying doing my channel so much, is that, you know, I've met some absolutely awesome people and kind of making those connections and building that community and supporting each other. You know, it's just really important, isn't it? And, you know, hopefully it feels, for everyone watching, you know, I hope it feels kind of inclusive and welcoming to everyone. Like, no matter what level you're at with your playing, you don't have to be brilliant at playing guitar to, you know, to be able to kind of join the discussion and join in the conversation, really. Because, you know, I feel like, look, you know, I've got quite a few guitars, right? And you know, it's clearly something that, you know, I've got a level of kind of knowledge about. Sure, I'm not a guitar tech, I'm not a professional musician or anything like that, but I've had 30 plus years of experience of buying, playing, owning and maintaining guitars. So, you know, I will have a point of view. I'll have an opinion about more or less anything that we talk about. And I expect that that's very much the same for anyone who watches any of our channels. So it's, you know, it's one of those things where everyone has a valid opinion. I think everyone has a perspective to offer. And, you know, nobody can kind of say, oh, well, you know, I'm a better player than you, so, you know, my opinion counts more than yours. I don't think it does.
Definitely not, no. I mean, and in terms of being more relatable as well, if you think about all the people who have ever picked up a guitar to try and play it and how far they get, there's probably more people that are available to relate to the people who are not that far advanced than them. Like, there's some channels I watch where the playing is just like, it's blowing your mind and you're just like, right, okay, that's enough of that. Now I don't want to play guitar today. That's it. So most of the channels I enjoy, I don't really watch any high level playing channels. I'm relating more to people who are, it's not even about the level, but you know what I mean? Just like what you're saying. All levels of playing. Hobbyists, that's it.
Hobbyists, people who, you know, are just enthusiasts who love guitar and kind of, you know, love to play as and when they can, not necessarily, you know, as their main job or anything like that. And I think, you know, as you say, there's probably more of that type of person out there than, you know, because if you are probably a professional musician and creator and stuff, like, you probably don't have time to sit around watching YouTube.
That's it. So a quick shout out to...
I do enjoy those other... I do enjoy some of those other channels as well. Like, I do, you know, I did start kind of like watching Rhett Shull and people who are like Rick Beato's mates, you know, and Mary Spender and people like that they are, you know, they've either been session musicians or they're like professional musicians, and their channels are really kind of like well produced and everything, because it's the main thing that they do. And Rhett Shull obviously like teaches guitar lessons and samurai guitar and people like that who are professional musicians and everything. And I do kind of watch them for inspiration, you know. And I know that, okay, fine, I'm never going to kind of like reach that level, but it doesn't take away, for me anyway, it doesn't take away any enjoyment from watching someone just like create, you know, a really nice piece of music and play it and have like a really lovely tone to their guitar and all that kind of thing. And, you know, there are some of Mary Spender's videos that are really sort of insightful and thoughtful as well. but I also really enjoy her music and her playing and everything, and watching her journey as she's done it. I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, she's just so easy to listen to as well, isn't she? The most calming voice on YouTube. It's amazing.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I will also watch like Rick Beato, because
me too. Yeah,
he's just so engaging, just so watchable, isn't he? And whether he's saying something that you think is like just completely, like he says, old man shouting at clouds or whatever, but then some of them I think, oh yeah, no, that he's right about that, and I agree with that, and I'm going to shout at clouds as well, you know.
On the playing side of things, like I watch a lot of John Cordy.
He's Jonathan Nathan Cordy.
Yeah, he's probably like he's one of my sort of favourite guitarists like out there. Not even just YouTube guitarists. I say this all the time, but he's so good. Yeah. So I watch a lot of his stuff. But I even sometimes find myself. I hope he doesn't see this. Well, hope he is watching, but hope he doesn't hear this. I often find myself skipping the playing part because I want to hear what he's got to say. You know, I'm more interested in his opinion. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I want to give a shout out to my mate Rich, the Novice Noisemaker channel. I absolutely love his channel, right? And the key is in the name, the Novice Noisemaker. He doesn't rate himself as a guitar player at all. He's way better than he says he is, or that he thinks he is. But it's kind of it's hobbyist level, right? And he doesn't care, right? And I love that. And his sort of angle is that he's bought almost 250 guitars at this point. He's always buying guitars, and selling them, and just his videos are just him on his phone. He just sits down, he plays a bit of guitar, he jams along, and he just talks about the guitars. And I just love it. So I don't care what level anybody's at. I'll watch John Cordy, I'll watch Rich, I'll watch anybody and everybody in between. And for if you're a creator as well, it doesn't matter what level you're at. Just like what you're saying, Joe. There's a place for everyone, and there's a viewer for everyone. Yeah, I think
so. What was the channel? What's his channel, Rich?
The Novice Noisemaker. Well, I don't know if it's the Novice Noisemaker or just Novice Noisemaker, but his name's Rich. And every time you go on his channel, it's just a fun hang. He's just a great energy, great guy. Yeah, big fan.
Awesome. And I think we'll probably have to kind of start wrapping up because I've taken up loads of your time already. Thank you so much, Steve, for your time, and see you on your next live stream.
Great stuff. See you there.
All right. Cheers.
See you later. Bye.